Meet Maggie and her mules, Buckaroo and Sarah. They brought in our resupply over Bishop Pass on day 16 of our 2018 adventure. Maggie is the youngest member of the family that runs the Rainbow Packers outfit, and she left at 4:30 a.m. to get to our resupply point. Watch and listen as Maggie answers some of our questions.
Great job.
So well.
Me too, Maggie. I'm glad it was you too.
Yeah, we heard a few horror stories about
Late people.
Yes.
Yeah.
And so we just put it in God's hands and said, okay, well, whatever.
I was looking at it and I was like, I should be able to get in there real quick and get out. And then there was an instant where I need to be back tomorrow. There was some stuff and I was like, I hope that this works out. And then I checked your guys' paperwork and I saw that you were going to be here the night before. So I thought, you know what? I'll get in there as early as I can.
Yeah, I'm glad. I can't believe the timing because we just hiked up there.
I know. And I just
out.
saw the sign and I went, okay, now I think it's supposed to be right here. And there you are.
Yep.
So you say you're part of the family then?
Yes, I'm the youngest one and I've been...
How many others are there in the family then?
I have 3 sisters.
Oh, 3 sisters.
Yes. So all of us kind of did it for a couple years, and then all of them have kind of moved on with their lives, and now I'm here, and I've been managing it. And doing...
Well, let me just say from me to you.
We heard bad things about.
First of all, thank you.
Yes.
And you're doing a wonderful job.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It was one packer we had who just... We still don't even know why he was so late. It was just one of those things where the guy just didn't click that he had a job to do, and just thought he had all day. So...
Well, and those things happen, and you have no control as a family.
Yeah.
You know, as a business owner.
But
Now, I have another question to ask you in relation to, we saw a pack train on the top of Mather Pass yesterday, and they were getting ready to go down on the south side. That trail is so narrow, and I don't know about this one. That's sure-footed then.
these guys are really good about it. Especially the mules. These are both mules here that I have.
Oh, okay.
And the mules are definitely a little more sure-footed than the horses, but even our trail horses, they're pretty decent. You'll watch them going down the trail, and you'll watch them hit a spot that's kind of sketchy, and they'll stop and they'll think it over. They'll look at it.
Okay.
And they'll kind of...
So I didn't know whether they could actually take a look at it and determine.
They do pretty decent, and you get new horses up here, and you'll watch them just flounder for the first couple weeks of just real easy stuff. They're just not watching their feet, and they're just tripping on little things, and then you watch them start to pick it up, and they start realizing where their head needs to be, what they need to be focusing on.
So do you do any additional training other than just taking them out and running them up and down the trails, or?
You know, for most of ours, we buy pretty decently trained. This one, my riding animal there, she's pretty green, and I don't ever have anybody else ride her because she can get pretty violent sometimes. I've rode her for years and years now, and she's never gotten past that.
Right.
But she works for me. We work well together.
Yeah.
But for the riding stuff, definitely we work a lot on that. And then with the packing, mostly it's just you start them off with real light stuff, running them up and down the trails, or if they've never packed at all, it's actually quite a bit because you're throwing a tarp over them, you're putting these big bags on them.
Right.
It's a lot for them to kind of get a hang of.
And how about what kind of signaling, or do you have anything that you like, whistles or
I like
words?
to whistle to my string.
Okay.
Yeah, I'll whistle to signal them so that you're not just taking off down the trail, and then each one's getting jerked off its feet as you go. And then that way too, when you're running the switchbacks, that's where you can run into a lot of problems there, is if one of them doesn't make the switchback, then you've got mules getting drug up and down the switchback, so that it's real good to have that signal so that when you're going around those corners, you can kind of whistle to them and, hey guys, pick it up, we gotta make sure. And these guys, when they've been doing it for a while, you watch them, and they'll have their times when they don't want to go and they don't want this, but then you watch them when it gets to the spots in the trail that are real sketchy, and they're all business. They're not messing around on you. They know what their job is, and they know that if they mess up, they're gonna get hurt, because that's just how it's gonna go.
One more question. I don't mean to delay you all day here.
No, I'm gonna be sitting here for a while anyways and let these guys rest.
Okay.
You're good.
But gates
Mhm.
every now and then down there, what is that for? Do you know what the
Those
purpose
are
of
drift
those?
fences.
Yes.
So, different meadows throughout the park here you can graze in. And so
Oh.
you can just turn your stock loose,
I
but
see.
obviously if you're closer to home, you turn your stock loose, they're just going to head for home.
I
So
see.
those are drift fences to kind of
Keep them from
areas
going,
of grazing.
just taking off.
Yes.
Yeah. All right, one last, I said was my last question, but I have one last
No
one.
problem.
What is the proper pronunciation of this spot here? Is it LeConte or LeConte?
It's the Conte.
Thank you very much. Because I've had people trying to tell me it's been LeConte.
And
No,
I've
it's-
always said LeConte.
It's
Le
the
Conte.
Conte, and you hear a lot of really funny different versions of things. The Conte, Kearsarge, I hear Kearsarge a
Yeah.
lot. Just kind of like,
How
sometimes
about-
you'll be like, wait, what are you talking about? We don't have that.
Right.
And then they'll come up with something else. Oh, you mean this?
Yeah.
How about Mather or Mather?
I believe that's Mather Pass.
Mather. Very good. So I just want to make sure. You're going to be on my YouTube video this year.
Right.
For 2018, I want to make sure we get it right. And it is Maggie, right?
Yes. Mather.
Okay, very
Okay,
good.
so now
And the,
I have
and
a
the two
question.
animals again?
Sarah
Sarah
and Buckaroo.
and Buckaroo. What a great name for a
This mule
mule.
actually we bought off of the track, and he was a racing mule before he came
Y-
here.
Oh, really?
Yes.
I didn't know they raised
Yes,
mules.
and everyone,
Oh
all
my
the other
gosh.
outfits said, you're crazy for buying that mule, and this is one of the best
Best
pack
you've e-
animals I've ever had.
He's big.
Yeah.
He's good, and he's just built real nice.
Strong.
These two together can really travel, because they're
Yeah.
both a little lighter built than the others, but
Cool. All right,
Okay,
Kath.
so I have a question. I heard earlier in the season that there was an area where a lot of deer had fallen
yes.
on Bishop Pass, right?
Yes, that's on Bishop Pass there.
So did that cause just a lot of problems for you guys when you were coming over with horses or mules?
Now,
the smell?
I
or
was the first one to go up there, and I made sure that I took my best saddle horse. And I took him up there. He was okay with it. The next time I came, I brought mules. I had him in front, and he was fine with it. The rest of them were fine with it, and we have a handful of them where we just know, hey, we can't take them over.
Right.
We know they're gonna freak out. We know they're gonna be an issue. But just today, when we were riding up, all those carcasses are still there, and they're kind of getting drug into the trail right now by bears and stuff. And so these guys stepped right over a deer carcass, kind of looked at it, sniffed at it, but
Wow.
you
That's
just kind
so
of gotta,
sad.
yeah, they'll trust you on stuff, even though there's smell of bear and mountain lion and
Mm-hmm.
piles of dead deer
Dead
there.
deer,
They
yeah.
do pretty good about it.
Well, thank you again so much.
Yes,
We're gonna
Maggie.
get our act together.
Nice
and
to meet
decide
you.
Where
You
to
too.
go now? Because we
Yeah.
thought we
All
were
day.
going to be here all day.
Yeah.
So now we can.
We
move
might.
on.
We might. We'll have to discuss it, honey. We all have the family discussion.
You know of any nice campsites here in the next 3-4 miles?
There's quite a few meadows up there
Okay.
that definitely.
Big
First
Pete
meadow
and
you
Little
hit is
Pete.
Little Pete.
Yeah, Little
Little
Pete.
Right.
Pete's not. I mean, it's pretty close. I know that it got overgrazed by another outfit that came through. So that's. Or no, Little Pete's not overgrazed. Big
Pete.
is. Little Pete doesn't have as many camp spots. Big Pete's definitely got more options, but both of those are pretty nice spots.
Okay.
And just for your information, this is our 49th wedding anniversary. Not today, but
Well, congratulations.
on this trip. So, yeah.
And you helped make it such a blessing.
Good.
So
Yeah.
thank you
I'm
again.
glad.
It's a great Sunday morning for us.
Yes,
It is.
and
Thank
I'm
you,
gonna
Maggie.
go on the JMT YouTube thing and make sure that I mention what a great job you did and
Thank
how you
you.
were early and
Yes.
Thank
Yeah.
you.
All right.
We appreciate it.
so be very safe going back.
All right. You guys have a good trip.
All right.
Thank
Thanks.
you.
Thanks again.
All right.